Hey everybody, it's me, Zach. This is Poe, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and I am back again to do maybe the final installment, or at least I should say the final installment for now, about Darlene Michaud and her ongoing frustrations and or yapping about a moving company that sued her for $50,000 plus. Plus is important, I think. She emphasized that she had to say plus for some reason, so that's really important. I have done 2 videos about this already here on my channel. They're my most recent videos, but what I will say is, in case you don't know who Darlene is, what's going on with Darlene, whoever, whatever, I have a playlist of all the videos where I've covered her here on this channel, and also a playlist where I've covered all of her videos on my second channel where I re-upload reactions from my Twitch channel. So you can go get caught up on all the lore, but otherwise the too long didn't watch is that she got sued by this moving company. She's very annoying about it. Back in the day, she had tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of videos about all the ways that the moving company wronged her. The lawsuit with the moving company is now over, and she won. She claimed there's no winners, but that if there was a winner, she was the winner. But she won, and now she's talking about it again on YouTube because they couldn't buy her silence. She's still gonna talk about it. She's still gonna talk about it. And what we've been waiting on from the first 2 videos is how much they're supposed to pay her or something like that. Although I don't know that she'll ever say like the specific amount, but she did say that she would at some point disclose how much her legal fees cost her. So we're gonna watch this last video today called Waiting Patiently for My First Check. Moving company sued me for $50,000 plus. But first, let me thank today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Love and Pies. I've been starting my mornings off with a cup of coffee and playing Love and Pies. I love how easy it is to pick up and play while I'm having my morning coffee and just getting ready for my day. The aim of the game is to match fitting ingredients to make baked good delights, and then serve them to your customers. But in addition to that, there is a long story that unravels as you keep playing the game. The story starts off with a young woman trying to figure out what happened to her mom, who used to run a bakery that burnt in a fire. A lot of people think her mom was behind it, but her mom's gone missing and she is dedicated to trying to find out what happened. But also in the meantime, between time, she hires her high school sweetheart to help her out at the bakery. And of course that leads to a little tangled love romance story. In addition to the gameplay and the narrative, you also get to choose how your bakery looks, how your little cafe is designed. Like I said, this game has been a crucial part of my day. I have worked with Love and Pies before, and I really enjoy playing the game. If you're interested in adding a fun way to unwind in your day, make sure to use my link down below or the QR code on the screen to download Love and Pies. And if you download now using my link, and you reach day 3 within the next week, you'll get to claim a sweet treat. 200 energy and 50 gems. So make sure to use my link down below or the QR code on the screen. And thank you so much to Love and Pies for sponsoring today's video.
Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene.
Hi.
I took a walk to my mailbox and there was no check inside, but it's not due yet. They have a few more days, and then they have 5 regular days after that. And I looked that up. And regular days mean a 24-hour period. Doesn't matter if it's a holiday or a weekend.
Wait. Okay, so this is so funny to me because this video is titled Waiting Patiently for My First Check. But like immediately she starts off this video saying it's not even the date that they said that they would get me to the check by. get the check to me by. Wow, words. Words are hard. I love that she's like acknowledging it's not even time yet. It's not even the date that they said that they would deliver it to her. But she's patiently waiting. She's patiently waiting by making a video about this. Which is just so funny because I will say that probably means there will be another video once she inevitably gets her check. I assume she'll get her check. But I don't know, that's really funny to me.
They have just 5 days. So not 5 business days, 5 regular days. I just never heard anybody say regular days. And so they have time, but I thought maybe they'd like to send it to me a little bit early.
Nah.
No, they didn't.
They're sure not going to.
And I won't be shocked if I don't get one. Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't. In fact, I almost expect it not to come because nothing has gone my way at all. Nothing throughout this whole thing.
But you won. But you won, and you're here, and you're talking about it. So what do you mean nothing has gone your way? You get to talk about it. You just can't say their name. International Van Lines.
If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, I have a playlist link in the description of this video.
And so do I.
Of this move that never ends. I used to have a playlist for the whole moving experience, but I took those down.
I am obsessed with how she calls it the move that never ends when she said in her last video that she planned on making content about this for at least like the next 5 months. Girl, this could end anytime you want it to. Just so we're on the same page. We could end it today. This could be it today.
I didn't have to, and I regret that I took them down. Now I should have left them up the whole time. I bet you this would not have lasted 2.5 years. But they would have probably gotten something from a judge or whatever saying to take them down. I don't know. I should have left them up.
Should have left them up.
I really should have. My gut.
You know what? I think there is a way to watch 1 or 2 of them. I might need to go re-look into that because I was searching around, poking around, and I think I found one. But I don't want to say anything in case I'm wrong because I haven't had a chance to actually go and look. But I think I found one, and if I do, maybe we'll return to that.
Leave those up because that's going to move this along. But now that they were down, they could just drag their feet about this whole thing, right? And make it like, so that I would finally cave in. Now, I didn't cave in because I did not sign an agreement saying that I could never talk about any of this. I can absolutely talk about this. I just can't say their name.
International Van Lines. I do feel very confident that is, in fact, who it's about. I do believe that is, in fact, who it's about. And it is so funny to me because, like I said, like, she might not be saying it in a video, but, like, you could easily go figure it out. You really can.
But I do find that it's helpful for me to be able to talk about this stuff. Gets me through, and
gets you through what?
I do want to still, get back into showing you guys what you need to do before you move, because it can be a nightmare. And what I hate the most, what I absolutely hate, is that movers can scare you into keeping your mouth shut about your story. We have the.
I am intrigued because, like, listen, I think everybody probably has a mover experience or like knows of somebody who's had a bad moving experience, and things like that. I do find it interesting how she feels because of her particular experience with moving, that she's somehow an expert on this, Like, I do think that's interesting. Or that, like, perhaps her experience is everybody's experience.
Right to tell how it went. And I don't like the way this works. I think the moving company industry should have, there should be more regulations and stuff.
Let's get you to Congress.
Let's
get you to Congress and pass some bills, Darlene.
Get the check early. I'm going to wait patiently, and when it arrives, I will let you know. And if it doesn't arrive, you can bet your sweet ass I'm going to let you know.
Oh, I know.
So quick.
I'm
not giving them more than their regular days. It's crazy. They should be able to pay me on time, and I think they will. So now I'm just.
Do you think they will? Do you think they will? Because you've already set it up like you're expecting the worst. Based on everything you've said in the first 3 minutes of this video, it kind of seems like you don't think they will.
It's like, I don't know, 5-6 minutes, a clip broken up because it was a 25-minute video, but I cut it down to just minutes, and you'll see bleeps black screen that says bleep. That's because I had to cut out the names of the people, the players, the companies, and
Wait,
instead of
is this just her revisiting the old video? Is this just her sharing the original videos with edits? Is that what we're reacting to? I know sometimes people don't think I watch stuff for the first time with you all, but I really do. I had no idea what I was clicking on. I was just hoping she would tell us today how much she spent in legal fees, because that was something she said in the very first video about the lawsuit that she would eventually share in a video. So I was hoping today, since the title of the video was about a check, was about money, I was hoping that meant we would get a little more insight into how much Darlene invested in this lawsuit journey.
In my videos, I'm just going to bring clips to you, and I'll cut the names and stuff out. And what this is I had gotten a call from a lawyer. This was, I guess the call was August 3, because I said yesterday when I was recording this. I recorded this on August 4, recorded and uploaded on August 4, 2022. And I had gotten a call from a lawyer.
I do remember this video.
An email 15 minutes after that from somebody else trying to go back and forth with me with what happened. And I didn't read the whole letter that I wrote him, the emails that I replied, but he had emailed, he wanted to know what's going on, and they were making reasonable attempts to, work with me or whatever, and he said that they were going to take legal action. But it took them about 6 weeks to do that. They probably thought I'd get scared and come, begging for mercy, but I didn't. Anyway, so I'm going to let you watch this. I'm going to watch it at the same time that you're watching it.
Oh!
Come in and, touch.
This is gonna be reactionception. she's gonna react along with us. Okay, work. I do remember, I think I've alluded to in past videos that, I was very aware that, lawyers and the company had reached out to her. At one point, she said that they reached out to her with a gag order where they were gonna give her an undisclosed amount. Well, actually, I think she said how much money at the time they offered her. But in return for that money, she had to agree to, stop talking about them, and that was something she just refused to do. So I wonder if that's what this video is. I don't remember the specifics of any videos or what was in certain videos versus others. I just remember the general story from when I originally watched back in 2022, I guess. I guess that's when I was watching.
On a few things when we're done. Hi everyone, it's me, Darlene.
Hi.
And I have an update about the moving companies. Who's ready to go on a wild ride?
Me, Diva.
Because I think it's going to be wild.
You can't see how much she's changed appearance-wise since then. It's kind of crazy.
Actually, I'm not all that convinced that any of the stuff I'm about to tell you is actually going to happen. But I'm going to pass it by you just the same. Yesterday, I walked in the house.
Not convinced any of it's gonna happen, but it did.
And my cell started ringing. I picked it up, and a man gave me his name, which I since have forgotten, and introduced himself as a lawyer for... Basically, I was like, what's this about?
International van lines. I should just start coming in and being like, international van lines.
And he said, well, what do you want? So I was like, well, I don't know, how to answer that, something like that. And I started saying the two companies know exactly what I want and what it is. To just refresh your memory, I want to get paid what I feel is what's coming to me.
Remember that.
Without signing any gag orders. Simply refuse to sign that. I don't remember exactly what else we talked about right there, but I did explain to them how I'm still having trouble, how somebody is lying about what happened in my
International van lines.
So I explained to them that they're telling the
International van lines.
I've been paid, which I haven't. All they have to do is call the insurance company. And I did send an email to the two players in the insurance company. Letting them know.
I don't know the names of the insurance companies. I don't remember that part of the story.
No. They're saying that I got paid by insurance. I just want them to know. Do you think any of them...
The bleeps are taking me out because I thought it was all international van lines. Now I'm not so sure. Apparently she can't name any company, any name, anywhere.
To me, no. And I didn't open my email until later last night but I can see by the times that my call came in at 3:34, and then an email was sent to me 3:49. So 15 minutes later from that call to that email. I'm going to read this email to you.
Read it to us.
I don't know, how they would have juggled that. The email is from, I will read it. It's been brought to my attention that you've had an ongoing issue regarding your move with... From what I gather...
The bleeps! Every time there's a bleep, it kills me.
We've made every reasonable attempt to resolve this issue.
She disagrees.
Unless I am missing something.
She thinks they're absolutely missing something.
Well, he's missing a lot. I sent him a 4-page email. I'm embarrassed by that. Actually, 4.5 because I wasn't done. After I sent the first one, I wanted to say something else, talking about what I printed. When I printed the email, it's 4.5 pages.
4.5 pages is crazy. It's crazy. 4.5 pages is like a paper I wrote in undergrad, okay? 4.5 pages as well, and that's probably single-spaced. That's probably single-spaced, Divas, because who's double-spacing an email, right? So, like, you double-space that, that's easily a paper I wrote in undergrad. Easily.
Your interest is in shooting YouTube videos instead of resolving the issue.
Oh.
Now, my interest is absolutely resolving the issue. But, and I pointed out to this guy that I did a couple...
No, her issue is not solely resolving the issue. Her issue is definitely both resolving the issue, i.e. getting the money she feels she's owed, and also being able to get money for making videos about the issue. So it's they're not entirely wrong. I do believe she really wanted her money too, because like one thing about Darlene is she doesn't play when it comes to her money, but I do believe they clocked her a bit when they said your issue is wanting to make YouTubes on the internet, because she absolutely does and did and still does today.
Videos at the beginning, and the last one was in January, and the next one was in July. I gave them all that time to try to make good on this, and they didn't. So there.
So there
is a registered trademark, and since you're using our company name for monetary gain, slander, and libel, we are now taking legal action.
Do you think International Van Lines would take legal action if I put their name in my title? Should we poke them here? I don't know that I'm trying to have legal squabbles with the old International Van Lines. But that would be something. Are they saying that as a trademarked company, nobody can use their name in anything? Because that seems silly. Like, if you're a brand, certainly, like, people are able to talk about their experiences with you and, like, talk about your brand, right? Like, that seems goofy to me, just because you're trademarked. And that would be like saying that I couldn't come on here and talk about Diet Pepsi. And whether or not I liked Diet Pepsi. Well, Diet Pepsi might be like a trademarked company name, but I'm still gonna come out here and give my opinion. Like, reviews are like such a huge part of social media, and or I would think like branding, marketing, etc. Maybe International Van Lines isn't trying to like market themselves on social media that way. I mean, obviously it's not going great for them, but that's like such a huge part of like marketing in the digital world and the social media age. Like, so much of brands like marketing presence these days is on social media, because that's where a lot of people are.
And I haven't received anything other than that phone call. But let's go back to slander and libel. First of all, that's the first thing that if they sue me, they have to prove. They have to prove that I said something false. Not only false, but they have to prove the damages what I said caused. Financial damages. I have not said anything false. The opposite is actually true. Has lied in the reply to me, to my complaint, by saying that...
Maybe that sounds like she was bleeping out Better Business Bureau, because she did contact the Better Business Bureau and file a complaint with them. I don't know why she'd have to bleep that out, too. But maybe listen, I didn't sign up to play Mad Libs with Darlene Michaud today, okay? sign up to do all of that?
That I've refused offers, that I filed for arbitration and I was rejected. Those things are true.
Yeah.
I never filed for arbitration. And then last but not least, they said I got paid by the insurance company.
Didn't.
I didn't.
She did.
If they want to take me to court, they're going to be walking in there with dirty hands.
She said, y'all want to take me to court? Try it. And did. This is why I don't know why they were playing with her to begin with. I told you all, Darlene Michaud does not play with her money. She is gonna get the money they owe her, and she's gonna make money off of a YouTube video about how they didn't give the money that they owed her. She doesn't play. This is her job. This is her job. You might be confused because you might go to her channel and see her doing like quilting and see her doing videos about fat quarters and fabric. Hell, she even made just recently some kind of lemon ice cream concoction situation. I was very confused because it was not giving carnivore, but I also didn't click on the video. So for all I know, she was making it for her grandkid. She does have a grandkid. She could have been making it for her son. Hell if I know. But you might go to her channel and think, oh, she's a crafter. She's a quilter. She loves crafts. She loves sewing. She loves fat quarters. But you'd be wrong, because what she's really about is complaining. And that's the true essence of her channel.
You know, I'm the one who has proof that they actually lied. I'm going to jump in because I keep saying gag order in there. That's before I knew that that's not the actual thing I'm supposed to be calling it. What they had offered me once, one moving company offered me a confidentiality agreement in exchange for money, and I ended up refusing that. At first I considered it, and I thought, oh cool, at least I get something, but then I was like, no, I can't be bought to be quiet about this. It was just way too important to me.
I can't be bought. I have to help the world by sharing my story. Women's stories matter. They just matter.
It remains important to me, which is why I defended myself.
Amen.
For 2.5 years without giving in to their demands of me never speaking of this again. And I am speaking of it, so I'm very happy about that.
She said, I told you so, divas. I told you so. I told you I'd be here still talking about it. And guess what? She is.
The other thing is, I wish that I would have talked about this lawsuit the whole time it was playing out. But of course my lawyer is going to advise me, take, the videos down. That would
Absolutely.
Show efforts of, trying to resolve things, and then don't talk about this while it's going on.
Absolutely.
But I should have left those videos up, and I should have talked about it. Because it would have just, I don't know, if they could legally shut me up, then at least they would have had to go through those steps to legally shut me up while it was going on. But I regret very much that I didn't just talk about it the whole time.
I kind of feel like why not re-upload all of those videos now? I guess she doesn't feel like she can because she mentions their names in all of those videos.
And be using their name, because at that point they would have not been able to stop me again unless they got some kind of a thing from a judge shutting me up while that was going on. But I was trying to be on my best behavior because I thought I'd eventually be in front of a judge, but that didn't happen.
Darlene being on her best behavior is funny. I would like to know what she defines as that. I guess it's like shutting up. So I guess any other time on her channel when she's yapping about all of her complaints, that's not her on her best behavior.
And the other thing is that complaint that I made to an organization, the moving company absolutely said in their reply that I got paid by the insurance company. Now, if that were true, they could easily show that I got paid something from the insurance company or whatever, and I did not get paid. I was not even ever going to get paid from the insurance company because they said after I worked 3 months with them, and it was a nightmare even going through all that, they said that it didn't meet the deductible. It was going to be 600 and change, 650 something, I think. They said that I had to go back to the moving company that actually moved me to get my money. And I kept going after them, saying, look, the insurance company tells me you have to pay me. They would not reply to me. I had to get back with the insurance company. They're not replying, so the insurance company gets to them and says, you got to pay her. They said they'd pay me, but I had to sign a confidentiality agreement, and I refused. And then when I talked about that, I believe, in depth in this video, the one that you're seeing clips of.
To some extent, I just feel like when I hear her going on and on and on about this, and I feel like I felt this way at the time, too, But to some extent, I feel like she could potentially just be at peace if she did just stop talking about it. Like, I feel like she's just so, like, continues to be so stressed out, even after she has, quote-unquote, won this lawsuit with them. And it's just like, let's find you some peace, Diva. Let's find you some peace. Let's get back to the fat quarters, Diva. Let's get back to that.
You know, I kept saying that I'm not signing that. The insurance company is telling me they have to pay me and they want me to sign a confidentiality agreement, and I refused. And then this is August 4, and about a week later I did a video saying, look at what I got in the mail. The moving company sent me the check with no agreement to sign because now they knew that I had spewed the truth out that I never got that check. And if they're going to take me to court or file a lawsuit, they're going to have to show that they paid me something. And the check and the timestamp, the date stamp on the envelope.
I had forgotten all about that. They even after she said, like, I won't sign anything, they still sent her a check. She could have been done with it right there. She could have collected her money. She didn't sign anything. She could have kept yapping. And I think she refused to accept the check, if I remember correctly. Could be wrong. Hopefully that's what she's about to tell us.
It was August 5. This came out August 4. So they watched that video and they were like, shit, we better fucking pay her. And I kept that money because I knew that, if I refused it, I was...
Just kidding. She kept it. Just kidding. Just kidding. I clearly forgot that. She kept the money. She had her money. She got the money from them. She got it. And then I think she still kept... obviously she's still complaining about it.
Never going to win it another way. I kept that $650 whatever dollars. So anyway, now I changed the subject a little bit because
she got her money. She got her money, and yet she's still here yapping and waiting for additional money. Listen, I told you. What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all? Darlene Michaud doesn't play about her money. She's gonna get it all. And she's waiting on some. She's waiting on some more money right now.
You're gonna hear me talk about what would happen if I went to trial. I don't think I said it in this clip, but I was like, I'll go, and it would have been not in my state. And so I would have had to travel, but I was like, okay, let's make a show out of this. And had that gotten to the point...
Let's hear that, let's make a show out of this. She said multiple times during this that, like, this was for her channel. Like, she would go through this process for her channel. That she would make content off of this for her channel. And she's doing exactly that, divas.
I told my lawyer, if I am going to trial and I have to go to a different state to do so, I am going to be recording every minute of that. Every minute of it. Because... that would have been a huge expense for me. And I was not going to do all that without having the chance to at least be telling my story. This is what they're putting me through. And so I don't know if she relayed that news to the other side or whatever, but at the last minute, because we're talking the last minute, my trial is going to be this month. So they decided they'd make a deal with me where I benefit financially and not them. So, all right, I'm going to let you see this. I don't know, maybe you're interested in seeing me 2.5 years ago or whatever. And then
I'm so intrigued. She said, if they really make me go all the way to Florida, I think that's where she was going to have to go. If they really make me go all the way to fucking Florida, you better believe, divas, that I will, in fact, be documenting it for my channel.
I'll come back in to say bye. Can you imagine if I did that? Can you imagine how much publicity I would be able to give that company? You guys know how having a YouTube audience is what got me through this entire move. All the decluttering I had to do, all the worrying about how I was going to get my mother here, who ended up in hospice care, and we had to change all the ways, all the plans, instead of me hiring U-Pack or Derek and I driving a U-Haul. These were things considered. My mother was going in medical transport. And then at the last minute, all that fell apart because of hospice, and that's why I hooked up with
International
because
Van Lines.
I was told there was a cancellation on one of their trucks going in that direction, and I could have my stuff brought few days, 7 max. I got through that because I was able to tell my story here. I was able to get it out almost daily. This is what I did today. This is what I accomplished. I felt proud if I, did one junk drawer. And you guys helped me to get...
YouTube did that. And that's why she has to keep doing this. It's for her well-being.
Through that, because I was like...
I do get what she's saying, though. It like... From what it sounds like, like a motivating factor for her to keep doing things as part of the move, like packing and things like that, was like, I gotta film stuff for YouTube. People on YouTube are expecting me to give them updates about this. It was like a form of accountability. It's kind of like the girlies who try to do weight loss journeys on the internet and say that they're doing it for accountability, but then never really do. Except, like, I think Darlene actually did use it as, like, an accountability piece.
Do this, I can report back and I'll feel good. Well, same goes with this supposed lawsuit. I think that it would be ridiculous for them to spend money on suing me.
Agreed.
When they haven't even paid me anything. It would be...
Well, they did give you... Maybe this is before she got... I think this is before she got the $600 check or whatever. But they did end up eventually paying you. I do also agree with her. Like, I don't understand why they thought it was so important to sue her. Like, for all intents and purposes, at most, these videos got like 15 to 20,000 views, something like that. I'm guessing. I can't go back and look, obviously. That's long ago. But, like, Darlene's videos aren't ever really, unless it's just like a one-off video, they're not usually reaching, like, virality. Like they're not going viral on the internet. I suppose if somebody was like searching YouTube for international van line reviews, they might find those things and feel some type of way about the company. But it doesn't... I don't understand how that's any different than them, like, Googling, like, going to Google reviews, seeing what Darlene Michaud had to say about them there, It seems really silly that a company would spend this much financial resources to pursue some random lady in Mississippi.
Be something if they paid and I had signed a gag order and then I was still talking. Now that would be a lawsuit. But they're acting like I'm being unreasonable when I was never made the offer they say I was made. The only offers I got was from...
International Van... Oh, wait, that probably wasn't International Van Lines. But, wait, she is again here saying... I think there was some other company that was involved in it. It was like several different moving companies because they contracted out the work to other things. So it started with International Van Lines and then I think they contracted it out to like 1 or 2 other moving companies. And I think one of those places offered her money or something like that. And she did get money from that.
Made the only offers I got was from, and it was $444 for a returned shuttle fee, and $1,000 for my troubles. The gag order said I had to be quiet and I couldn't go after any other things, like I couldn't file for damages and stuff. So
in case you're counting, if you're estimating between the $600, the $400, and the $1,000, that's like $2,000 altogether that she got from this. On top of whatever she's getting now from this like agreement she came to with International Van Lines.
And if you remember right, I was contemplating signing that gag order. I'd even taken my video down for a little bit.
Yep.
And I told her I was very concerned about that because the $1,000 she was offering me was just for my troubles. And she changed that gag order. She changed it to say that I could still move forward with filing for damages. So the fact that she did that is proof that the $1,000 she was offering me was not for damages. And the $444 was clear that it was for a return shuttle fee. I find this so interesting. Don't you think I would have made a good lawyer? Might have my chance.
Go to law school, Diva. Let's get you taking the LSAT immediately. Let's sign you up. I don't know that anything that I remember her saying that whenever I watched this video the first time, and I was like, girl, ain't nothing you said here necessarily making you a good lawyer, Diva.
I think they would be dumb because what can they possibly say in front of a judge? Yeah, she had, states that she has some damages, and I have proof of damages.
Uh-huh.
And she just wanted to get paid. She refused to sign a gag order. She's being very unreasonable.
I live for when Darlene looks at the camera and just laughs. Like, that's kind of Zachary Michael coded, if you think about it.
I don't know. And then the judge would say, well, so what have you paid her up to now? Nothing. We've paid her nothing. She got paid by the insurance. I know some of you might think it's ridiculous that I'm still living through this and
I do a little
playing
bit.
it out. And
I do a little bit.
I need to, because it's helping me, not that I forgot any of this, but it's helping me to remember really why I stood up for myself for as long as I did, because it's just really important to me, and it breaks my heart that we can tell the truth about something and be somehow dragged through the mud for telling the truth.
Say that.
They were not honest with me from day one. They weren't honest. When my mother was deemed a hospice patient, that was right when we had all our plans set up. She was going by medical transport. I had already put the deposit down, everything. And Derek and I were going to either rent a U-Haul and drive or rent a U-Pack. I think I had finally decided on a U-Pack that was going to be like a thing dropped off, and my neighbors and I were going to pack that. And then when Derek came, we were going to just take my car back, and the furniture would come. I mean, it was all set. And then my mother was hospice, and she was given about 2 days to live. And she, she lasted 4 months, 5 months, about 5 months. She was hospice in Maine for like almost a month, and then we took her on a plane. We flew out, and I got the mover. I called them and talked to a woman and thought she was very, very nice. I was crying. I was telling her how my situation was and how it was going to have to be last minute. And she's like, "Don't worry about it. We have a truck that has a cancellation." I was told it was a truck with a cancellation. And even though she was saying everything I wanted, I still wanted to, try a few more options. I was being so careful. And then I called her.
I think that's also so important. I mean, like, we can hee-hee and ha-ha about Darlene, and Darlene definitely always takes, like, a customer service complaint to the next level. I've seen her do it in many different situations, not just this one. But, it's clear that everything surrounding this move was, like, very emotionally charged. Like, it's clear, based on her sharing all of that right there, that she very much associates this time with, like, her mother entering hospice and eventually passing away, right? So, like, I think it does make sense that she, has so many strong feelings connected to this moving situation, and then to have that dragged out for 2 more years post-move, I think is probably also, probably re-triggering those memories every time she has to come to it. And so I get it. And also, like, I'm curious, would it be helpful to just, like, move on, like, to close this chapter, to finally be able to say, you know what? We've come to an agreement. We've reached a settlement. They're paying me out for this. I can rest easy knowing that I was in the right the whole time. And now it's time to move on. I wonder if that would be helpful in any kind of way. I don't know. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not an anything professional. I'm a dumb YouTuber who yaps on the internet as well. So what the fuck do I know,
A couple days later and said, "Do you still have that space?" See, it makes me want to cry now. Because I was so emotional. Can you imagine? I've been planning a move for a year. And now I was planning a move with a mother who was dying, and, it was just, and it wasn't so much the death that scared me. It didn't scare me. I had my father when he died, and I was going to be okay. My mother was 98, and I was going to be at peace with her death. It's not like I wasn't expecting it. I'd been expecting it for years. It was just the getting her there, and I was told, 4 to 7 days, I know that I think in that clip I had said a few days to 7, but I remember her saying 4 to 7 days, but then she said, and she did say, I have to say 21 because that's what it says in there. She says, I have to say that. She says, but this truck is going in that direction. There's a cancellation. There's space for your stuff. You will be on the moving company's name.
International Van Lines.
A moving company's name truck, not somebody else that they were going to be selling me off to. And she just said all the things that she knew I needed to hear. And, I told her how important it was and that I was so grateful that they were going to be able to be there.
I imagine that's also why she feels so taken advantage of and so frustrated with this situation. Because, hearing her talk about all of that, it sounds like she's sorry, I got a hair, I'm still struggling with having longer hair. I should probably just cut it all off. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh, it's probably, she probably feels like that person took advantage of her because she was very vulnerable at the time just in general, but also vulnerable enough to share that, my circumstances feel very dire right now. I need this on last minute notice. And she probably does feel really taken advantage of from the beginning, which totally explains all of it. Like I said, I've seen her Karen out in other situations that aren't related to this. So, I think some of this is also just who Darlene is. But it does connect with me. It does make sense to me that, this is all happening while she's also processing the loss of her mother or, preparing for the loss of her mother, things like that.
She needed her lift chair. She needed, all her stuff. Of course, hospice was setting her up here, but we didn't expect to be in Derek's living room for a month, Mm-hmm. But it's just, I don't know.
I will also say, Darlene is somebody who, I couldn't even tell you what video it is I watched where she said this, but Darlene is not somebody who really believes in therapy, so that's why I've refrained from saying anything about going to therapy. It's a moot point. She's not gonna do it. But I do think it could be worth it a try.
Art has been keeping me up nights ever since I moved. The move went wrong. And then this whole lawsuit was very stressful, to say the least. And I'm sad that I didn't get my trial, but I really do think I made the right choice.
Sad that you didn't get your trial. Girl, you do not want to go to court. I don't think you realize that. Court is not fun.
Settling, and I worried about traveling with Joe and Rocket. I didn't want to go alone. I wanted them with me. But Joe's a diabetic. He gets hospitalized often. It's that was scary too. I just hope that the insurance company enjoys sending me checks, assuming that they actually do.
The change in her tone of voice from talking about being sad about the trial to, I hope the insurance company enjoys sending me checks. Yes.
I'm very, very happy that they are at least getting hit with some financial responsibility here. And
I can tell.
I'm going to stop now, but you can tell that I still have a lot to process.
Absolutely.
And, I'm supposed to get checks for 5 months, and I'm going to continue to talk about this until that last check is deposited in the bank. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I am kind of curious. She posted this on April 16th, and today is April 28th. So, reasonably, it seems like... I guess she didn't say... Did she say in this video when it was supposed to be there and then the additional 5 days? I would guess that we've reached the deadline for International Van Lines to run her money. So I'm curious if we'll get an update with an actual check at some point this week. Certainly if we don't get an update with an actual check, it sounds like she will let us know if she didn't get it too, So lots to find out, lots ahead of us. Again, I might not cover every single thing that Darlene does, but I did say I would cover these 3 videos that were already here. So I hope you have more understanding of the Darlene Michaud Moving Company lore. It's certainly been fun to revisit it with you here on my main YouTube channel. Thanks once again to Love and Pies for sponsoring today's video. You can use the link down below or the QR code on the screen to download now. And remember, if you download now and you reach day 3 within the next week, you'll get a special gift sent to you in the game. Thanks so much once again to Love and Pies for sponsoring today's video. That's all I have for today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you are interested in more fun things like this, I do stream on Twitch. We do reactions, not gaming. Sometimes that's a misconception of people who aren't super familiar with Twitch. Not everybody over there is gaming. And then I do re-upload the reactions that I do on Twitch to a second channel called Zachary Michael also. That's always linked in the description box below my videos. But if you enjoyed this, there's going to be more fun videos to come on this channel as well. And if you're brand new here, consider subscribing down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I had so much fun with you all today. I hope you did too. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!